Hey everybody, Chris here with Klingspor's Woodworking Shop. Today, we're going to do a little project for us. We're going to take this slab cherry top and we're going to end up turning it into a beautiful spray finished top that's going to be a desk for our boss. But before we get there, we got a lot of things we need to do to prep this top. One, we got some cracks to fill, some little blemishes to take care of. And so we're going to fill those, we're going to sand it, and we're going to have a lot of tips and tricks along the way. So you will want to stay tuned. You might learn a little something today. So let's get started. So what today we're using is the Timbermate cherry. And the reason we're using the Timbermate cherry is, one, this does a really good job of blending in with the different color shades of cherry. Plus, the Timbermate flows in really well. It's easy to apply. It dries. It dries well. It doesn't shrink. Alternatively, we could have used the Mohawk wood filler. This cherry happens to blend much better with the particular wood that we've got here. I did some tests on the bottom, and this is what we're going to go with. And so you can see this applies really well. And what I like about it is the fact that you get no shrinking with it. And if it starts to dry up, you can mix a little water in there to achieve a much better consistency. So if you wanted to use this as a wood filler, you use it like it is. If you needed to use it as a grain filler, you could actually thin that out with a little bit of water straight from the tap, and you wind up with a really nice slurry that you could use as a grain filler if you want to. So there's a lot of benefits to the Timbermate option. Easy to use, easy to apply, easy to sand, dries quickly. So hard to go wrong with it. So one of the cool things about the Timbermate is it dries really fast, doesn't shrink, and works exceptionally well. And they've got a wide range of colors. And as you can see here, this is darker, but once it dries, it does dry very light and it'll blend very well with this cherry top. So let's let this dry and then we'll start sanding away. All right, so the wood filler's all done. It's dry. It's ready to be sanded. Now, there's a lot of options that we could choose from to sand this top. What we've decided to go with today is the Green Tech. The green, obviously, by the color implies, this is a very good product. It's got a lot of abrasive qualities, so it's going to be very aggressive. It's also going to be very durable. It's going to last a long time, and it's not going to load. So all of those properties are the main reason why we've chosen for this top. And normally I would say we could start with 100, but for this, I know that I'm probably going to need to start with 60. Then I'm going to hit it with 100, and then I'm going to follow that up with some 150. And that should cover all of our needs for this top. So you know what? Let's quit talking and let's get sanded. Okay, so after doing a little more thorough examination of the top, what I ended up doing was I used a 100 grit to do the initial sanding using the Green Tech, the 150 in the Green Tech, and then I followed that up with a 180 grit in the PS33 Sterate. The reason being, and this is a good tip to know, on tops like this, especially if you're going to stain, in this case we're not, but especially if you're going to stain, the Green Tech can be just a little more aggressive. And so the Sterate aluminum oxide does leave a little cleaner scratch. So when we go to finish this, there'll be a lot less swirls and a lot better look once the finish is applied. So we use the Green Tech all the way through, finished it with a 180 grit, and that's going to give us a really nice look. And you might have noticed the light that I used in a couple of occasions. What this does, if you've got this happens to be the LED shop light, what this allows you to do is get a reflection on the top so you can see if you've got any swirl marks, pigtails, anything like that, that may show up later down in the finish. Now, of course, we could have dampened the surface and seen some of that, but this is a good preventative measure to let you get that angled look to be able to see if the top looks good. Because I took a lot of time and I took my time and went very slow, which is key when you're doing a lot of this sanding on big surfaces like this. Take your time, let the sandpaper do its job because it is the tool that's abrading the surface. So full range, we did 100, 150, and then 180, and this is where we are. So we're about ready to put the seal coat on. So let's get started.